Our next guest is someone that I met in my everyday walk of life. I walked into a location and there she was. It is Pauli Rose Libsohn. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
So I walked in looking like a schlep rock that day, and you were so kind and so nice to me. And I said to you that I just had this urge to pull into this location.
Right.
And there you were at the front desk, and we had a conversation. I was telling you about the television show, and what did you share with me?
I said to you, I think you might be interested in my story and what I have to share with you.
I certainly was.
And then you stopped and you listened and you could not get over my story. And my story is that I have 5 books here, 1 book at the publisher now that I published of all my mother's writings.
Wow.
And the reason why I did that is because I made a promise to my mother all these years ago to have her work published. She passed away before she could see any of these books come to fruition. But the thing is that the first 2 books, the first book, Immortal Kisses, Confessions of a Poet, that tells the story of her romance with my father, and that's all romantic poetry. The second book, Songs of You, a Postscript, is a PS to the first book, and that too contains poems of her relationship with my father, and it's gorgeous romantic poetry. The third book encompasses essays that she wrote on love, about books that she read throughout her lifetime. And then the 4th book that came out was the story that I wrote myself, What is Love? And that tells the story of her love affair with my father. And the reason why I wrote that was because I have since started on a lecture tour at Malloy College and at CW Post and at several of the high schools. And wherever I go, people want to know the story and they can't get over it. And because of that story, and it's so beautiful, that I have people interested in the possibility of it being made into a movie.
And what about book 5 and book 6?
And book 5, what I did was I discovered my mother's papers on Shakespeare. And so what I did was I published her papers and I wrote a story surrounding why she saved those papers. And those papers she wrote when she was in college at Queens College. And then book number 6 is compiled of poems that she and my father exchanged between one another from 1945 until the present, that they wrote in greeting cards. And I found all these greeting cards that she saved, and I said to myself, these poems are exquisite. So I am in the process of publishing those, and what I did was I wrote stories about windows of their lives of why they wrote these particular poems, and it's very interesting, and that's coming out in the spring. But initially, the Immortal Kisses, that tells the story of my parents' relationship from the inception back from the 1930s until all the way up when my father passed away.
And what year was your father's passing?
That was 2004.
And then your mother?
And my mother passed in 2008. And at the time, we were working on the manuscript, and I said to her, we have to have this published. But then she passed away. And I had promised her, and I could never break that promise. And so I went ahead and I got everything published. But the interesting part of it is that all this was done in 6 years. Mm-hmm. And I did 6 books in 6 years.
It's amazing.
It is. But I felt my mother's energy actually coming through me. And the biography that I wrote, that's 180 pages, I wrote that in 6 days. And the reason I feel I did that was because my mother's energy kept streaming through me, and I couldn't stop it. And I couldn't stop writing. And I took off from work, and I wrote it in 6 days.
It's amazing.
It is.
And you know, the other connection between the two of us, and the reason that I said you have to come on the show, is that your middle name is Rose.
Yes.
And all of my audience knows that they've been following you for the last decade. In fact, we've got a new logo celebrating our 10 years.
Right.
Is that my mother communicates to me through yellow roses.
Yes.
So I said to you, Pauli, I said, wait. I said, you
Right.
have to come on and tell the story.
Right.
This
Right.
is absolutely beautiful and wonderful.
Yes.
You've had so much publicity around these.
Yes.
And I know that it's just a celebration of life for you.
Yes.
The connection between
Yes.
your parents.
Yes.
You're keeping a promise to
Yes.
your mom.
That's right.
And I wish you continued success for this. So where can someone purchase your books, Pauli? How can somebody find out more about you?
On Amazon.com.
Okay.
Okay, all the books are on Amazon. I do not have a web page. I never went in for that. It's just on Amazon. And also they can contact me on my email.
Okay.
It's plibsohn, Libsohn, @gmail.com.
Lovely. We wish you
Yes.
all the best of luck.
Thank
And
you.
I don't know, I love doing acting. So if you do get it into a screenplay and you want a staged reading of it, if I could be of any help to you with all of my film and TV connections, I'd be more than happy to help you.
Oh, thank
so,
you.
Pauli, thank you so much. You're an inspiration to so many.
Thank you.
Amazing stories.
Yes.
Confessions of a Poet, Immortal Kisses. I'm down with that. Not just one, 6 books. Stay tuned for more on Live It Up.